Hey, welcome to the studio. It's another great day. We have huge football champions, the Super Bowl champs of the world. It's Monday. We're here. Made it to another day. Okay, we're going to give time for people to chime in. Let me get my chat box up and put my do not disturb on. You know, all the house cleaning, house rules, house things, all that kind of stuff. Let's pull this over here. Okay. Okay. It's a little dreary outside. I meant to close those blinds because it's kind of blocking off, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be on the desk ENT ways. ENT ways. So welcome to the studio. Hey, if you're on Team Replay, we thank you for being here because you know we need Team Replay just like we need Team Live. And if you are on Team Replay and you have not subscribed to the channel, if you would hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so that you will be notified when I do go live. Because there are some times when I do pop on here and it's not scheduled. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. I was outside with the puppies earlier, but they're getting bigger. Okay, let me see if I got my notification because usually by the time I get my notification, yeah, she's on Central Time, so I won't be able to join that. Okay, so we have gotten notified on my end, and we'll just still pause here and just wait for a couple of people to possibly pop in. And when you do on Team Replay, if you would hit that thumbs up so that we'll let YouTube know that we are enjoying content and people are watching my videos. I'm just not over here flapping in the wind. Although if I am, I'm happy with that too because y'all know me. I like to show up for me before I show up for anybody else. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about how creativity helped me heal from my grief. Not heal from it, but as I use it to navigate through everyday life. It inspired the things I'm going to talk about today are things that have inspired me since the death of my son. And I'm going to also show you some things to possibly create if you want, and some things that you don't even have to have any of what I have in the studio. Y'all see I'm drying out roses right there. I have a whole bunch over there. It's a whole bunch. Literally, it's more than a bunch. But anyway, we're going to pause here for a little bit and we're going to hang out. And I'm going to give you a little bit of, hey, welcome to the studio and thank you for joining me today kind of conversation. I really like this time to be real relaxed, real laid back. I don't like to really have an agenda, but I do want to have some kind of agenda so that I'm just not, it's not one of those days that I want to just be flapping in the wind, if that makes sense. So, what I have learned on my grief journey is that grief really, let's see, it doesn't have a roadmap, right? So grief is just one of those things that it pops up. It doesn't come with instructions, but like the kids. So I'm the mother of 7, right? And I have 14 grandchildren. I need to realize, is it 13 living and 1 deceased, or is it 14 living and 1 deceased? I need to do the count. I'll do the count and then I'll give you accurate. But altogether, I know I have 14 grandchildren. So out of those, I have 1, my oldest granddaughter, who is also deceased. Out of the 7 children, 2 are deceased. My oldest daughter committed suicide, and my son was murdered for, 5, going on 6 years. He was murdered in 2019 in Dallas, Texas. And for me, when those children were born to me, and both of those children were born December the 17th, I might add, 7 years apart. So when they were born, there was no manual. I wasn't given a manual of how to be a mother per se. And so the same thing was when they died. I wasn't given instructions on how to navigate through their death. And there was no roadmap. There was nothing to tell me, Karen, you need to do this. Although, being a counselor, there are things that they tell you to do if you're grieving. Now, let's kind of pivot a little bit. That's the death side. Now there's the life side, life after divorce, life after retirement, life after a breakup. Those things hurt your heart too. I don't put any kind of distinction, although people is like, there's nothing like losing a child. Well, until you've lost a child, you can say, well, there are different lanes. So we are on the freeway and we have three different lanes. We got loss of a child. That's grief. We have loss of relationship, loss of a job, you got fired, you broke up with your boo of so many years, all those things in different lanes, whatever lane. Here's the thing. This is my point. This is my point. Grief is anything that brings tears to your eyes. Grief is anything that makes you cry, right? So people around me wanted to help, but there was nothing I really could tell people to do. So this is how I came to be in the studio. This is my studio. Oh God, it's 11. It'll be 3 years old tomorrow. Like we've been here 3 years tomorrow. I just cannot believe it's been 3 years since we packed up and moved from Colorado. Literally 17 days. I packed up a 4,000 square foot house, downsized and moved, and I gained 10 and a half acres. As before, I was in a little square in a subdivision. Here I have neighbors that are 3 acres, about 3.5 acres on this side, and about 3.5 acres on that side. Nobody in front and nobody in back. I personally love it. So that's how I've gotten to, hold on. Would it be too much to create? Okay, sorry. The do not disturb does not work for some people. They still can get through. Okay. But the thing of it is the reason, so my purpose for my YouTube channel is not so much as to talk about what has happened, but to give you a little framework, because we have to have a solid foundation, then we have to have framework, and then we have to have the ceiling, and then we have windows if needed, because sometimes you don't necessarily have to have windows, but it depends on what you want. But the framework, you get what I'm saying, the framework needs to be there. Now for me, growing through has been very interesting. Like I said, when my children, each one of my children, I was not given instructions. I was given people's versions of what they did with their children. But for me, sometimes that doesn't work. Hey Sarah, I didn't want to give you a ping pong, and I figured you'd pop on if you could pop on, because you're a college girl now, so we don't want you to have to be taking out time. But like I said, I never imagined that I would be here. I never imagined I would be on 10.5 acres. I thought I would be, maybe 4 or 5. Now my mindset, I would like to healthy be on 30 acres. That's my goal. That's my number. 30 acres to live on. And then I would like to have another 100 acres to possibly provide houses in little bit, in 2 acres, for people who are not trying to build a big dream home. They just want something. So, but for me, we're talking about me and creativity. So that's how I ended up in the studio. 3 years. Our anniversary is tomorrow. 3 years on the ranch. I'm super, super, super excited. And the reason I can keep up with that, y'all, because it's my husband's birthday tomorrow too. So we got closing on his birthday, and that was great. But the one thing that I want people to know, that even though I'm in a place to where I do smile a lot, I do share a lot of my life and my journey. I want you to understand that losing my son really shattered me. It shattered everything I knew. I didn't think I was going to get up after his loss. I got up, I did the funeral, I did all the things, and I stood up, and then I was very, very good at showing up broken, because I had already lost a daughter and a granddaughter, so I knew what it was to kind of go through that. But I realized writing a book, because right now I'm writing a book about my son's journey, from a mother's view, and I realized that I miss him, and I never knew that grief could be so overwhelming and so suffocating. Like, keep in mind, I've already buried a child. And so most people say, well, I thought you would kind of know what to do. No, remember, each child that you have birthed, each one of their entrance into the world is different. I have twins, and even though I carried them, and their birthday is the same day, they're 7 minutes apart, right? So even birthing them was different. So that's why I try to tell people, even though my children, I did it once, and yes, I've done it twice. No, I don't want to do it again. However, they're not the same. So I had to acknowledge to myself that it literally suffocates me still. And it'll be 6 years this year. And God, time is flying. Time is waiting on no man. So grief can be overwhelming. And when I'm talking about overwhelming grief, I'm not necessarily just talking about the loss of a loved one. I'm talking about the loss of a job, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a good friendship, the loss of a house, the loss of a car. Like I had a car, BMW, that was built in Germany. I still grieve that car. So there, right? So I just want to give a little snippet, just a little snippet of how I'm coming from the place that I'm coming from today, of how the creativity has helped me heal from my grief. Like that's it. There's no right or wrong way about anything that I'm going to share today. If you have lost a loved one, or if you're in any of the categories I just forementioned, then if anything that I say helps you to get up and start moving forward, then great, great. My job for waking up this morning is done. It is not to get on here. Oh, hope I got him. It is not to get on here and tell you what you need to do. I didn't want anybody telling me what I needed to do. As a counselor, I didn't tell me what I needed to do. Each day, I took it each second at a time. I still take it each second. I kind of take it maybe day by day now, not so much a second by second. So let's go over here to the desk, and we're going to see what's going on the desk, because we get a little FaceTime and then we get more desk time, and then I'll be back with some more FaceTime. But real quick, if you popped on and you are not subscribed to the channel, or you have not hit the thumbs up, please hit the thumbs up for support of the channel and become a subscriber if anything in my channel resonates with you and you would like to be a part of the community. I'm not for everybody, and I get that. And I'm okay with that. All right, here we go. Let's go on the desk. Okay, the last couple days, it was all about the Super Bowl. So Saturday, Sunday, it was all about the studio. I came in the studio and I worked at anything that brought me joy. Okay. I reorganized paints. Do we have all these little ones? I made 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like there's one missing, and it might be because it might be under, yep, under a book. No, that's not it. I have to put them under a book to make them kind of get flat. But these, I did these. Oh, I didn't finish the last one. This is the next one that's going to be. This is just regular fabric, and this is how I usually hold them together until I sew them together. But that one's ready to go. There is this one. I tried a different stitch kind of, and it made it a little loose. No, I wasn't with it. Okay, so this is called bookbinding, and in the studio and on my grief journey of how creativity is helping me to heal from my grief after the loss of my son. These are some of the things that I'm going to be showing you that I do. And bookbinding, literally, this book is created, handmade from front to back, everything about it, except for the paper. And I might get good enough that I might learn how to make my own paper, make my own thread, so that everything that will go into my books, I can say is 100% handmade by me. Those are aspirations that I have. These are the things that coming in the studio, creating, has made me really see how God intends for you to still get up and move on after you've suffered the tragic loss, after you've lost a job. He maybe gave you the loss of the job so you can do something else. I don't know. You have to analyze yours for you. This one, I love this fabric. This is, what size is this? I don't remember. This one is, and these are all art journals. with watercolor paper. So this is a 6x9. Yep, 6x9. Everything I pretty much am going to do, y'all know it has flowers on it. Don't forget, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Hey, Dawn, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I thought I was going to be able to join another live for an hour, but evidently she's on Central Time, so I'll have to catch I have to be team replay over there on hers. But this one right here really, really, really is yummy, and it doesn't have a lot of signatures because I don't know what it was, but oh, probably because it was getting a little thicky. So this one has, when we say signatures, we're talking basically about chapters in books. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And normally I do 7. My God, I don't know why. That could be why I had extra paper. While I was doing this, y'all, and this one I did yesterday, I was looking at finishing up with Grey's Anatomy and The Rookie. I was watching The Rookie. I like binge-worthy shows that I can, really take my time. And sometimes if I'm not going to be on live or if I'm not recording for my Patreon, then I'm usually going to be watching something. So this one right here is, again, this is all watercolor paper, blank watercolor paper, and I sewed them together. So that's a book. And all of these I'm going to put on my website. They're going to be for sale. Which is another thing that being on my grief journey, I have become this whole artist over here that I am loving. Now I'm going to do this one last. So let's put that over there. But this one and this one. Okay. I'm assuming that's my dog. Look, excuse me, I got some noise that was just uncommon. So I'm assuming that's Brandy. Oh, it is. She's playing with her bone. That was a little loud. And when I'm home alone, I got dogs in the front and dogs in the back and dogs in the house and dogs in the doghouse. So that was a little different. All right. Oh, let me make my chat bigger. I can't see that. Oh, there we go. You got my glasses on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. This right here, I put up here so you can see the difference. So you can definitely see the difference. This book right here started out just like this. What I do is I go to Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby is the one I get the paper. So I get the regular paper because these are just going to be my art journals. So I get the paper. It's a 15 by 11 paper. I take all of the paper I pull it off, and then I use the back of it, where the paper is on. Let's see, I barely have backs on things because I pulled them off to use them. But kind of, let's see, this one has a back. Oh, this one still has a back, but this isn't the one. Okay, so see this? So I'll take what do you call these things? Oh God, the board. Some kind of board. But anyway, I take this board and I'll cut it. This will get cut in half. And so say if I wanted to make this one out of Fabriano, then this is 9 by 12. You cut it in half and then you take the paper, of course, fold it in half, and then you have the back for it, right? So that's how I do. So having a 15 by 11, that's what this is. So this one, now look at this one. It started the same. Let's see, this one might have more signatures. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what I did with the other paper. So this one, oh, that's what it was. This one was thick as it is. I didn't want this one to be as thick. So therefore, I didn't make it as thick. That's what it was. So that made it made it better, I guess you could say. That. So I'm looking for this one to be just as chunky, but also the strings, my stitching, this was a little strained. And so this one I don't want to be that. So we did some things a little different. But this one right here, it's thick. It got thick. We still probably got about 5 pages to before we finish this one off. But I was like, you know what? Need to make a new one. And there we are, same size and everything. So art journals, I've come to the place I like making my own. I love my ones I've gotten from Ranger. I love supporting Dina Wakely with hers, and I still have those. There's nothing better than creating your own art journal and watching that sucker grow. Did all of the inside, so I tried to. This is just cardstock right here, not cardstock, just regular paper. What y'all call that stuff? Paper pad paper, card making paper, I guess. And this one is fabric. So this is fabric that got glued on. That's paper. And then it's all watercolor paper. Yep. And again, I stitched them all together. This one has individual. This one isn't doubled up. So doing this right here. So let's talk about when I make these books. I'm sitting, like I said, I'm watching something, but my concentration is on this. It's on what I'm doing. If I'm in a funky mood, if I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm crying, usually if I'm crying, I'm going to watercolor because I take my tears and literally wipe them. I would literally wipe them on a page and add water. Oh, let's cut that out of there. Oh, I moved my scissors. That's not that. Let's just let me know that's not going to work. I did some moving around in the studio. It's still, you just got to move things. You know how it is in your house. And for 2025, I did some revamping of some things. Okay. Now, when I'm sewing each one of these signatures, I have to concentrate on creating this book. And usually that gets my mind time to settle down. It gives me time to breathe and think about what I'm doing, right? And so these get to kind of, wait a minute, what is that one? That one. I moved one to the side. What did I do with it? There is one that has something in it. That's why I said I knew I had one more. But anyway, my point is if you're trying to figure out how to do something different with your life, how to find something that is a little, I don't know, that you want it to move. Like if you're a mother who's lost a child, what I'm saying is it's one of those things that make you like, okay, well, that sounds good. You kind of moved on from yours. And I want people to know my journey of grief is still going on. That's why I do what I do. That's why I come in the studio. I'm a little, like, I got a whole book that I made. So I got to figure out where did I sit it because it's sitting up under something and it's being smashed down, and that's where oh, there it is. Okay, so you have to smash the book down, and when I say smash the book down, you want this to be kind of small. It don't really poke out, right? This one, again, I took some fabric that I bought from Hobby Lobby over in the surplus stuff where they got all that fabric. And they have them, done cut so many up and they can't sell it by the yard. It's less than a yard. That's what it is. And so that's what this is. And so far, I've made 3 books out of it. We have these 2, and I'm going to finish this one. And I still have, I want to say, a little bit left that I'll probably use. Okay, this one, let's put this back under. See how this one is kind of leaning? You don't like that, which means my stitchings on the ends were too loose. But I wanted it to be able to see the stitching. It's just the braiding. So when I'm making these books, what I'm doing is really telling my grief, okay, let's deal with you, and I get to decide how I'm going to deal with my grief. So instead of hanging out in the street sometimes or going somewhere, I come in the studio, right? Because I don't want to be out have a moment and cuss somebody out. That's just it. Okay, but this book right here is special to me, y'all, because let's just open it up and see. This is how creativity, this book right here speaks to my creativity and how doing the things that's inside this book has really, really, really helped me on my grief journey and in life journey. Got some blank pages, but we get to see my artwork in books. And what I'm going to do is turn this into an art journal. So it has on the pages, it has my, okay, that tells me that was upside down. All right. That's how that's supposed to be. All right. I'm going to have to do something, put something on the front that lets me know that this is the front. And I feel like I have the right thing, but I'm going to have to find it. I figure, yeah, I'll find something that I'm going to put on the front that's going to say I'm the front. You see, y'all saw how I just did that. So, all right, let's do, but still same concept. Got all these tails hanging out. So just imagine, Dawn, I'm going to take the scavenger hunt that, again, I have not done for the to win, but more for inspiration. And these are going to be the pages that I'm going to use to do scavenger hunt. Thought that was a good idea. Take my art, because these are prints that once I finish practicing, I have piles and piles and piles. If they don't make it into a sell, make it on the website to sell, they're just prints that are here. And they're still beautiful. They're just ones that I spent a lot of time practicing my flower. And you can see that one was the back of it. And then I went and put gold in there, but I didn't like it. So if it doesn't make the website, like you can go to slapandpaintonpaper.com and you'll find all my artwork, or you can go to KarenMcCoy.com and there's a shop on there as well. So all these prints, it's perfecting my leaves with a new brush because I am a pro at leaves. But all these brushes, let me show y'all something. Do you see these watercolor brushes? And this is a little pot, little thing I got from Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. And I was like, oh, I can put my watercolor brushes in there. But these are my watercolor brushes. And I stuck some yarn in there to make them stand up. And they're right there. Yeah, so I haven't done it, Dawn. But as I was doing this, I made this one last night. I was like, oh, you know what? Instead of it being blank, how about, like, these are pretty. Let me see what the other side of this one looks like. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think I put my signatures in wrong. Because, see, that's upside down. We can't change it now. Uh-oh, this one's stuck. I'm going to have to put some paper in here. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? The one I did 2 years ago, I used my watercolor as the cover. Ah, nice. Okay, so I thought about that with another book I was going to do. I have it prepped and ready. I've been in a book binding, let's get it mood, right? So I cut these out, and that's what I think I was saying I was going to do with these, is put watercolors, paint flowers on it. So possibly, whenever grief or because let's just put grief on the left side and life on the right side. Whenever I get pissed off, and it absolutely has nothing to do with the grief I'm going through, I still have to decide what I'm going to do with being pissed off. Are you going to stay pissed off? Did you really just let that person piss you off? Or, you got to go through down the rabbit hole of things. And so this right here was done by my granddaughter this summer. So I put those pages in here. And yeah, I think let's see how much more needs to be, because I might have had it. This might be my only one that is upside down. The rest of them really doesn't matter. I don't guess, you know what? It really doesn't matter about that either. Either way, it doesn't matter. Thank you, Dawn. That container came from that one and another one that I keep my bigger multi-purpose brushes. This one came from Hobby Lobby too. It was, oh, it was beautiful, first of all. And I was going to do something else with it. And I was like, no, that can sit in front of me and put all my heavy duty brushes in it. And that's what I did. So, oh, and then this other little one that my smaller, isn't he cute? And he has a, excuse me, a little bow on her head. So, but these brushes right here are my favorite watercolor brushes. I'm going to replace this number 2. I'm missing one. I'm missing a number 8. Oh, it's in the water. But those stay here because they're closer to me and all I have to do is literally just reach. All of them are reachable right there, but those are even closer. So this will be that. Now, when you're trying to navigate through life, right? And y'all, this is not the Lifetime. We are not in Lifetime. This is not a Lifetime show. Nobody's writing the scripts to, when you tell your husband something and then you wrote the script for him to respond back. This ain't Lifetime. And I've gotten over things like that because that used to be me. I used to be like, oh, if I say this, they say that. And then when they don't and they say something contrary to what you even fathom, you be like, what the hell did you just say? So the struggle is real, but I try not to get lost in my grief. But again, like I said, grief has no roadmap, right? Bridget, you just tried to call me. Now you see where I'm at. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock on Monday. You, buddy, I sent you that picture though. Y'all listen, this is what I'm gonna be painting next. I digress. This was coming, but since Buddy popped on here, she sent me this. I want to say, I can't remember if it was before I left Colorado or since I've been on the ranch, but it fell behind the table. And because the table in the pull-out table, I literally had to go under there and move some boxes. And I was like, oh shoot, there's that thing. But they are roses. And I said I was going to leave it out. It's 16 by 20, ready to paint, premium printed canvas. And it's going to stay out right here next to me. And I'm going to start painting it little bit by little bit because it's 16 by 20. It's huge. Okay. But we don't want to struggle and feel lost in grief. And when I say grief, I mean getting pissed off with the world. Like last year in 2024, I had some things that happened to me that if I wasn't grieving, I wouldn't have second guessed them. Like I wouldn't have second guessed the whole process. But because it came from people that I was just like, wait, they know that, some days people just might be in trouble, right? you like my dear say, baby, you just don't even know how close you are to getting cussed out, right? But anyways, I've learned how to turn. I've learned how to focus on me inward and the studio. All the things that I'm sharing today is what has helped me navigate more so past the sadness and do it in love, right? Okay, y'all, I got a Temu haul today. Look, Bridget, what did she say? Did I send that? I forgot. We were supposed to paint together. Yes, that's how long was it that we both forgot? Like you didn't even ask me about it. But it's out now. Now you got to go find yours. And listen, and we can do a Zoom and get together and chat. Yes, we can. And can. Okay, so I went on Temu. Y'all, I went on Temu before the tariff and all the things and all that, but my package made it to me. A couple things hasn't made it here, and I'm assuming it had to come from a farther distance. I'm not sure, but anyway, I digress. But so we're gonna share. I'm gonna share with you my Temu haul, and this I know when I did this. How can I say? I had a vision. Because I do make junk journals, but I like making art journals. I like making these because I don't have to find signatures. When you're doing a journal, you got to find the inside of the book. Like I finally found the inside of the other two. Let's see if y'all remember these. Oh, and I'm going to start reading Pride and Prejudice again. I read it way back. As a matter of fact, I didn't read it. I got the Cliff Notes. Let me be real. I don't have to worry about my grade. I got it. But I'm going to read it. Mr. Darcy and all the things. But see, these were, are they stuck together? I think. Oh, they're paper clips. Um, I was trying to find pages for the middle because you got to make the signatures. Like I did the cover, right? Y'all remember the covers? I did the covers, and they are beautiful. But I stuck them over there, and I have not finished them. I finished one of them, and it's over there. But I pulled out my Daphne's Diaries that I've had for about 4 years. Let's see. Nope, 23, 23, 24, 25. Close enough. Well, this one is. I got started in 21. But these are signatures that I've done. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my Frisker. Is that thing's name? Um, Fiskars. This big thing right here. And I'm going to cut these in half so that I can have chapters for my books. That's why they were in here and they were out. So we're going to cut them literally. I don't even know if half's not going to. Oh, maybe if I do it that way. Yeah, that might work. This is how I do it, y'all, literally. Be like, okay, we cut that right in half. That ain't going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Anyway, it sounded good. We'll put that over there. That is not what I'm focusing on today. So it's even those, or it's going to be these papers for, because this is the size it needs to be. So I'll be cutting out a lot of paper. Haven't decided yet. Okay. Some other things that I love is decoupage. I decoupage these hearts. Y'all go to Dollar Store, go to Dollar Tree, get you these hearts. If you can find them. My God, it was the hardest thing to try to find these. But I went to, when I wasn't looking for them, because Sarah had found them at hers, and she was just going to send me some, right? And so then when I go in a Dollar Tree looking for nothing, going to get something else, there they are, sitting up there. So I decoupaged these yesterday, and I did it in my Patreon group. And so this is a process. It's going to be this process. Let's see, this one, then the next one, and then the next one. Yeah, so it's a 3-phase that they will get over in the Patreon. And I did one with hearts, and I did this one with just flowers because y'all know I love flowers. But again, it's just, I don't know what this stuff is called. It is not wood, but it did good. It did good. Okay. Yes, Mr. Darcy. We're going to get Mr. Darcy. Okay, I'm going to start with, no, I'm going to end with. I've already started. So, y'all know I'm a watercolor fanatic. Watercolor, acrylic paint, I love it all. Isn't this cute? Now, on my healing journey, I have learned that sometimes the thing that makes me feel better is buying paint to add to the studio. It used to be buying anything that whatever band I was watching, whatever show I was watching, it's like, oh, I need that. I like that. What I've learned is I love watercolor. I love acrylic paint. I love slapping paint on paper. So when anything comes into play, I'm like, I've set for 2025. The only thing that I can really spend money on is watercolor. And it's not so much paper products aside from printables. We're going to do printables because I'm going back to Bible journaling, and we'll possibly, who knows, might have a Bible journaling show on here. Who knows? But right now I'm going to start really doing the Bible journaling in my Patreon and having, that. But look at this. It's an empty tin. Y'all know I need empty tins, empty tins, empty cute little pans. Because when I go outside, I can go and take this little thing. I can put, how many is in here? It's for 12 half pans or 6 full pans. 6 full pans or 12 half pans. Okay. But yeah, so, and of course, this pops out, whatever. Who needs it? But there it is. And it's purple and blue. I thought that was cute. This came from Temu. Okay. And this is yummy. I just needed to see how sturdy this one was going to be. Love it. Just imagine slapping paint on paper cross there. We're going to have to look into that. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. And of course, it's huge. And I got enough paint to fill every last one of them. I can put, let's see, how many? I forgot what it was. 24. I think it's 24. I do believe between Daniel Smith, Marry Blue, what's that other one called? My A Gallo and my PWC, I can fill them all up. This is where I would have a problem remembering what was what. So I would prefer to have 24 Daniel Smiths. Who needs to swatch colors? Lauren is whining. I don't know why. She's probably mad because she's still outside. But once the video starts, I'm not stopping. But I like the 10. I fell in love with both of the colors for these 10s. So that was that. But then when you look at all of these little ones that I have right here, one of these are duplicates. So Daniel Smith, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Marry Me Blues. We got Marry Me Blue. I think that's Daniel Smith. I wasn't sure. Daniel Smith. There's 2 of these. And Daniel Smith. Those could be in there. Listen. Paint. Paint is fun. What's your fun thing? Put it in the chat. What is the favorite thing in your studio? The favorite you must have in your studio. Mine is watercolor. I got to have watercolor. And I'm not even worrying about paper. You know why, guys? Because they sent enough paper in the mail, so it's okay. All right, these are the other little things, little bitty ephemera. I'm not going to open them up, but some ephemera. This one, I got this one because it had a bee on it. And Buddy, you know how we like bees, but I think these are different. So I'm going to have to open this one and pull it out because they're not all bees. Well, maybe they're different color bees. Oh, yes, that's what it was. They were all different color bees. Oh, Dawn, I know you like that. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? That's so yummy. So for me, this is one of the things, like my creativity. Getting into paper, getting into arts, getting into all the things, literally sitting on Zooms and Confident Canvases Zooms that she invited me to after the loss of my son. She knew what was going on. So to get in there and really see everybody doing their creative journey. And this didn't happen like right up. It wasn't like I went in there and was like, oh, I'm going to do this for my healing. It is something that I had started. I got started, what do you call it? Coloring. I was using watercolors. I was using colored pencils and coloring books, adult coloring books. And I realized that when I was I would get antsy or start crying, I would get the book and just start coloring. And so LaQuisha sent me this little doll one day and said, hey, hey, Queen, I just want to, do whatever. And I painted the girl. And then next thing you know, I joined the group and the rest is history. And people will be like, well, what are you doing? I was like, we go around. It's like everybody say what they were doing. I'd be like, I'm just over here slapping paint on paper. And it has grown into all that it is. Right? And then my daughter was like, well, you used to do all this stuff before. And I was like, well, yeah, but it was different. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. The difference is I discovered creativity in healing. That's the difference. Before, it was a mother having to do things for, make costumes for the kids, help with science projects. And so it was a little different. Those same kids. And the same thing that started with those kids is the same thing that's helping me heal now that two of those kids are gone. So she was right. Creativity was my healing. And it literally turned into my creative space And it believe me, I had no plans because I needed an outlet. And then COVID happened, so I really needed an outlet. So I started slapping paint on paper. No rules, no expectation, just colors, movement. I didn't have time. I still, every now and then, try to figure out some of the rules. And I'd be like, you know what? I don't have the mental capacity for it. No rules, just emotion spilling on the page. Literally, tears some days. I have one print that's on my wall. It's called Her Tears because literally, I cried on it. Aren't these pretty? These are going to be yummy on something. I think I have a few pages of those. I was gifted them. The bees, yes. It revitalized your creativity. It, now listen, yes it did, buddy. Yes it did. I'm trying to tell you. And the chaos that was in my mind, it just started to make a little bit more sense. Like it wasn't so heavy anymore. Like even though the heaviness didn't disappear, at the same time, I felt like I had a place to put it. And slapping paint on paper, creating cards, like oh my God, Gina K had me thinking I needed it. All the things because I've always made my own kind of cards because I like handmade cards. So Gina K had a sister out here just going to buy all the things. And now that I had to hone in on, Karen, what really brings you joy? What really makes you feel better? Card making is probably number 3 on my list. Watercolor and acrylic, I kind of put them together, watercolor and acrylic, book binding, making junk journals, and I guess you could say card crafting. Card making would be, excuse me, because those are the 4 things that I really, 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 if I look around the studio right now, everything that I have in here right now, I can do all of the things, the junk journals, the magazines. Now, these were interesting. It's handmade paper, but it's vintagey paper. And it has some, like, it's not flat, it's raised, so it's got, I don't know, but it's fun looking. So again, junk journal stuff. No, I think Bridget and I, we learned that we love collecting pretty papers, whether we're going to use them or not. We like pretty papers and pretty books. That's why I got all them Daphne's diaries, because they are so pretty. And then what's the other one? In Her Studio and all of those, they just so pretty. And I stopped buying them because I was like, you're not buying another one until you use them. Oh, and look at these. Look at these. I realized 2024 was my year to just kind of grieve and really let go of some emotions that I didn't because it was hard the last 4 years. These got a funky smell to them. Don't be smelling on them too much. Not a bad smell. It's just, I don't know. But look, Dawn, I thought about you and Bridget when I ordered these. Because y'all are my bee ladies. Look, but look at that. Look at that. So as art became my safe space, God was also telling me to share my journey. And I was telling him no. And he's like, share your journey. And I was telling him no. And he was like, share your journey. And I was telling him no. Y'all get it? I was telling him no. Y'all see where I am. So y'all see who won. Isn't this pretty? God will always win. Do it quickly. Agree with God quickly. It is the best thing. Because I can't say that if I'd really delve into making a craft room or studio a week after or a month after my son's death that I would see the light. I can't say that, but I can say now I get to see where I could release the pain, without judgment. It was just me. And then now I get to share because somebody needs to hear that there's nobody judging your grief journey. And don't let nobody tell you that it's time up. Or don't let nobody tell you move on. If you broke up, you had a divorce, you lost a friend, you lost whatever. There's a time frame to that. Yeah. Have you ever will call you later. Love you, buddy. Love you too, girl. Yes, call me later. I'll be going to get me some seafood after I get off this live. I'll be off in 10 minutes because I'm making sure I stay till an hour. Even though I have some more stuff, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to save it for Wednesday. But these are so pretty. But as I was looking through Temu, I was like, oh man, I can just imagine creating a card with that. See, card making, the birds. Look at that. They just kind of funky. I'm going to have to leave them out. It's like, I don't know, papery smell. Oh, God, that's pretty. I don't know, but we going to leave them out of the cellophane. I'm not going to put them back. Yeah, we're going to. Yeah, I'm not going to even keep the. Oh, look it. Oh, I need to make a book. That be the cover. Oh, okay. I digress. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. Sorry. We're going to put those over there to air out. We're not going to put them back in the cellophane. And again, so these were, what are these? I don't know. Oh, same thing, paper. Because remember, I told y'all, I was watching Gina K the other day. I ain't buying all that stuff though. I'll get some of it. Yeah, I like the paper. See how the phrase, the paper is edged? And this color is pretty. I'm going to stick these in here, and we're going to leave them out of the cellophane too. So that's it. That's it. And my art, this is the other thing, was finding joy again. And I also get to, include my children in the journey, because when I'm missing them, like if you've been on my channel for a while, excuse me, you'll know in the month of October, no, the month of August, the month of October, and then December, it wasn't hard last year because I did it in public. I came on here, I did 30 days of creating that junk journal, and instead of me crying through it, I got to teach through it, share some memories. And so God was right. This one smells funky too. We're going to leave that one out. I don't know what that is, but we're not going to put those back in. And we're going to open the cellophane too, because y'all know we keep these plastics because we repurpose. And oh, the last thing is a little box of goodies. And each one of these it's raised up on it. What do you call it? Embellished, kind of. That's what it is. And this was, when I saw this, I didn't open it all up. But look at that. Isn't that cute? Like if you can see the embellish, how raised up it is. And I'm going to keep these in a cute little box because, I like cute things. They make me happy. So my daughter who passed away, she loved handcrafting. And I can't say that she got it honest, because we didn't have a lot of money. I was a young mother, and the one thing I could do was take some paper and create something beautiful out of the paper, like slapping some paint on paper. You see how I took those scissors, took some serrated scissors that I have, and just did that. I'm just waiting on it to dry. So I was slapping paint on paper before I came on here, and that's where we are. So here's the thing: if you're grieving, I don't care what form of grief you're grieving. Okay, we're finished on the desk. Let's mosey on over here to why is that open? Not sure. Hello guys, for you that were late. You missed the FaceTime part. Here we go. Let's move that out of the way because we don't need that anymore. All right. We had some pretty stuff on the desk. Out of everything that I showed you on the desk, if you watched the video, tell me what was your favorite. Mine was the watercolor pan, because I am excited that I am going to get to put those watercolors in that pan. And remember, if you're on Team Replay or if you're just joining me, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification if anything that I've said resonates with you. Or if you're just like, well, hey, I like your channel, I'll pop in every now and then, that's fine. Could you hit that thumbs up button? Anything that you do would be grateful. I appreciate it. And if you're watching, you're on Team Replay, if anything I've said resonates with you, I would love, love, love for you to share in the comments. Interact with us. I do go back and I do read the comments and I do personally respond. There is no VA over here responding, because my life is grief. My life is to help people get up off of the bed after the worst event that could have ever happened in their life, or it's after someone has been fired from a job or broke up with their boo from years. They don't have time to hear somebody put, oh, great. Or now YouTube gives you prompts. Sometimes I'll use the prompt because it does say what I want to say. So it's kind of locked in my tone, but I still like to add my own little, I really, really, really appreciate you for stopping through. So again, if you're on Team Replay or if you've joined late, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. Because why? Sometimes I'll pop on here and it's not scheduled. But Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time is scheduled. Oh, and remember, I mentioned a photo I mentioned a piece that I painted back in this live. That's literally it right there. That is called Her Tears. There's gold streaks that come down on that painting that I literally, as I was crying, I let the tears go, but I put some gold on my fingertips and I literally followed the tears down. And so you literally can see it. So that's one right there that I will not make amends to. I won't change it. I won't do anything because it's the original big, the biggest one, the first biggest one that I've ever done, and I cried. Probably it took me maybe about 2 hours to probably do all of that, and I probably cried for like 15 minutes because it was one of those days. And that's what I do, like to get me through my grief or my pissed off days. Now, when I do have pissed off days, I do like to pop on here and let y'all know I'm having one, and this is what I'm doing to get over it. Life sucks. We can't do anything. Sometimes the weight makes it feel unbearable, you know? And if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. Grief doesn't come with a roadmap, like I said before, but the creativity that you will find, that you can find here on on this channel, I'll be grateful if you again would subscribe. I would love for you to comment below and let me know if anything I said helped you or is helping you get through your journey. Because being an adult, I found out, sucks some days, but other days there's better days than sad days. And for a mother who have lost two children to say that, I have to say God knows what he's doing, even though some days I'm not happy with him. And that's just me being real and honest. One thing I want you to do, if you are watching my channel or if you're watching replay and you're like, how can I work with you? All my links or everything are in the description box. I have a Patreon that you could, like $5, buy me some coffee. You know, we're going to start Zooms, and I don't want to do empty Zooms. Like I can sit here in the studio and do a recording. So I want to have a community to where we can get together because, hey, I don't want you to be alone on this journey. I really, 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 really don't. So if you're ready to explore a journal with me, leave me a comment below. Or if you want to join my Patreon, or subscribe to the channel here. I absolutely do a lot here. But if you want more learning and more teaching, then the Patreon is where you want to be. So finally, because it's almost time to go, grief is love with nowhere to go. I know you've heard that before. But creativity, let's talk about that. Creativity gives it a place to live. I hope to see you inside my Patreon, or I hope to see you again here because you know why? We need each other, and we have to have each other to get through the day. We have to take care of ourselves. Y'all know why? Because we can't be around here trying to pour. All my cups are full. Every last cup I got on my desk is full. And that's the way I want your cups to be. I want your cups to be full. So again, hit that subscribe button, that bell notification. My time for the day is up. Join me again if you want to be here live on Wednesday, or if you're on the replay and you missed the live, just join me Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 4 o'clock Eastern